All right, even though this is my subscription area, I'm gonna tread very lightly on this one. Because, well, for obvious reasons. Let's first start with who this is. This is Pat Tillman. He was an NFL player that supposedly quit the NFL to go fight in the Iraq War. And while there, he supposedly took on friendly fire and lost his life. And well, before we go any further on Pat Tillman, I need to tell you about a passion I've had for about the past 15 years. You see, I didn't just name myself the fittest flat earther to be funny. I was very passionate, and still am, about fitness, and CrossFit in particular. It's the reason why I'm strong, and not only strong, but can do acrobatic things too, because CrossFit tests all realm of fitness. It tests strength, tests gymnastics, and it tests cardio. And there's a competition called the CrossFit Games. And not only was I an athlete trying to compete in CrossFit, but I was also a fan. I like to really watch the highest level athletes. And one of those high level athletes happens to be Josh Bridges. Josh Bridges, who just happens to have an uncanny resemblance to a certain NFL player that went to Iraq. A very similar resemblance. Josh and Pat, and not only their faces, but both of their most famous poses in their sport just happens to look pretty identical. Oh, and this is when Josh won an event that was dedicated to a armed forces man who lost his life. And right away I had people say, it can't be them because Josh is only 5'5" and Pat Tillman is 5'11". Well, this is Pat Tillman next to two people that are 6'3" and 6'5". Now, this doesn't look like 5'11" to 6'5". That's a full foot there. That looks more like 5'5" or 5'7" to 6'5". So right away, something's fishy. And you can check all the stats here you want. And well, if the pictures aren't doing it justice, maybe some videos will. They both seem to celebrate very similarly after a job well done in their sport. And yes, one has the number 40 and the other 36. But hang on that thought, because we'll get back to the numbers in just a second. I just wanted to show you some further side by side of them moving exactly alike. So to the numbers here, they love to rub our noses in it, so I thought they would be so braggadocious to literally give them the same number. But they didn't go that route. They went a different route, because Pat just happened to give up $3.6 million to go to Iraq, and wouldn't you know. And you know, if I'm doing these videos, I have two things I'm always hitting. I'm hitting the symmetry, which is absolutely there. I mean, pretty much perfect. Maybe the eyebrows are shaved a little differently. Maybe. And you also know I'm coming packing heat, and let me tell you, that was hard to find on Josh. Really hard to find, but it's there because that's a mole and that's a scar, and they hit it. But I wanted to also find a little bit more obscure one. It's funny, I have a burn just like that. It was when I dropped bacon grease on myself around the same spot. Wouldn't be surprised if he did the same. You guys know this is all for entertainment. I don't actually think they would go so far as to give both him and his girlfriend some cosmetic procedures to make them look totally different, so you wouldn't know that they were still alive. Nope, definitely not. Those are just two completely different people. Completely different people. And so they have the same poses and the same smiles and the same looks and the same mannerisms. It's just coincidence. And so Josh Bridges literally supported a cause for Patrick Tillman. And they run and have poses and scream and celebrate alike. And he just happens to be the exact number of the contract dollar amount that he gave up. Coincidence. Duh, coincidence. I'm a satire account just here to entertain you subscribers with pure nonsense and satirical humor. Have a nice day, all for entertainment purposes.